Hello, this is the IRS Radio Hour. It got me. I was taken by surprise.
I was typing.
Why does it take me by surprise? Because I'm reading about 1099s. Because I want to be prepared. Because I'm going to tell you about them in just a minute. What are we going to do now, though, Jim?
Well, why do you ask me? Okay. We never have a good bridge way into this. Don't ask me.
I was trying to build one.
I know, but then how am I going
to build the bridge?
Debbie.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
Next time we're going right to Debbie. Debbie,
I think so.
Just can you?
I'm trying to build a bridge, Jim.
Hold on. It fell apart. I put it on myself.
I know.
But Deborah,
yes,
if we could in the future, just
yes,
we've told her that before. But anyway, so what I'm going to do here today, I'm going to tell you why the blog segment, right? Because someone threw me for a loop. Now, I know a lot about 1099Cs and 1099As. I told you I get these questions all the time. But I got an unusual question that I didn't have an answer to, and that's why I started looking into 1099A and C, and that's why I did my blog post about it, because I was doing all the research about it. And this is someone that called just with a question. I'm not going to charge them. I did ask them if they wanted me to hire me to do their tax returns, but I don't care if they do or not. It's just people had a question. They called me. I answered the question. Okay, so here's the question. A woman called and she said, my daughter and I both, my daughter's sick, and her student loans were forgiven. And I was I jointly, I signed for them. So I owed the student loans also. Mm-hmm. And so they were forgiven against her too. And they both, I think, and let's just say it was $75,000. I forget what exactly the number was, but let's say it's $75,000. That was the student loans that were forgiven. Both of her and her daughter received a 1099-C for $75,000. Now, how could that be? How do you account for that then? You can't both have gotten $75,000. You can't both have to pay taxes on $75,000 because that'd be paying twice on $75,000. That'd be $150,000. So what happens there? And that was something I never even contemplated.
Yeah, neither did I.
And so I went back and did the research, and the answer, it's a really simple answer. No, it isn't. It's very complicated. It's because I say because I thought it would be a simple. You just do this. Only one of you do it. No, it really depends, and that's where it gets complicated because it depends on each individual situation. So I found an example by the IRS, and this is I'm going to read some of it because this is the IRS example, and this is whether
is there going to be a place where we could find this the full explanation?
Well, you could always look it up. You can always call me, and I'll give you a fuller explanation. But you can go to IRS
312-664-6649.
You can go to IRS.gov, and they have a plethora of information there about it. But here's an example: joint debt and separate returns. In 2016, James and his wife Robin were released from their obligation to pay a debt of $10,000. For which they were jointly and severally liable. None of the exceptions to the general rule that canceled debt is included in income apply. They incurred the debt to finance James' purchase of the $9,000 motorcycle and Robin's purchase of a laptop computer and software for personal use for $3,000. They each received a 2016 Form 1099-C from the bank showing the entire canceled debt of $10,000 in Box 2. So this is the way. Based on the use of the loan proceeds, they agreed that James was responsible for 75% of the debt and Robin was responsible for the remaining 25%. So what they did is they looked at, okay, you used some of this and I used some of it, whatever the percentage was, that's the way we divided it. So that's one way to do it. They go through this more, and it gets more complicated and more confusing. The more they try to explain it, the more confusing it gets.
It's never-ending mission is to seek out new tax forms, to explore strange new regulations, to boldly go where no government employee has gone.
Exactly.
How about this scandal?
No, we don't even talk about that anymore. It wasn't even a scandal, Jim. Obama didn't have any scandals. So let me say, when completing his separate tax return, James checks the box on line 1B of Form 982 and enters $5,000 in line 2. And his wife, Robin, checks the box on line 1B of Form 92 and enters $2,500.
Who figures this out?
I mean, it's not that easy.
They do this on purpose, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So that you get caught And you have to end up paying a big penalty.
And so people would just throw their hands up and say, I'm just going to ignore it.
I would do that. I honestly, I'm going to admit to the American people right now, or whoever's listening, because it could be
the Russians.
The Russians. That I would.
They're everywhere. Those Russians are everywhere.
I would throw my hands up, ignore it, and let the problem get worse.
And what will happen?
What's wrong.
And what will happen is, right,
it will get worse.
The 1099-C is sent to the IRS. The IRS will then send you a notice of deficiency because you didn't account for it, and they'll say, "Oh, you didn't pay taxes on this. Now we're going to do that for you," and then you have a chance to appeal and all, and then it gets really complicated. So again, don't forget. Do not just throw it in a drawer and forget about it. Account for it. Get a tax preparer that really knows how to do it. Okay, and that's us. So anyway, I hope that answered her question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
Well, it certainly opened my eyes to 1099's A and C. I have no idea what you were talking about, but that's what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to confuse you, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. So if you are confused, if you are out there and you think that the world is coming down to you, I can't fight this alone. You are not alone. Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's going to be your hub to help fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to wrap this show up IRS Radio Hour style, the only way we know how to, which is with the Cubs. So here on AM 560,
The Answer.